Kia ora, guys. I thought I'd upload a video for you to help with your assignment on the benefits and harms of fungi. So what I've asked you to do is to choose one fungus to research, and you have to compile a bit of information about it, and it has to be in your own words. Because in the internal assessment, if you copy and paste off the internet, it's an automatic fail. So you need to be able to take information that you research and rewrite it in your own words, which shows us that you actually understand what you've read. Because the last thing I want is for people to just transcribe what they read on the internet without understanding it. So here is the outline of what you need to do, and I've created a little template for you to assist you with that. So let's run through that. Here are the 4 fungi you can choose from. So there's yeast, thrush, the toadstool, which is poisonous, and penicillium, which is the fungus that makes penicillin. So once you've chosen a fungus, can you put the name here? So for example, if you chose yeast, you could just write yeast instead of this. And then you need to find the scientific name. So this is where you need to research it. So for example, I could go research it and I could just write yeast, scientific name. And now the names of microorganisms or any kind of living thing has a first name and a last name. So you can see here Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the scientific name for yeast. So I would just copy and paste that. You can't write this one in your own words. Those are just scientific terms, and I can put that into a text box here. All right, then I need you to find a picture of the fungus here, so you could look that up again. So I would look up yeast and find a nice picture for me. So you could choose this one, for example, and put that in. All right. So that's pretty straightforward so far. This is the part where I think some people might struggle, and it's to do with describing the life process of the fungus you have chosen. So if I'm talking about yeast, I want to describe what kind of respiration does it do. For this, you might have to refresh your memory about the different types of respiration. So for that, you have to go to your Google Classroom, and under microorganisms, you find the topic that we need to talk about. So here I can see I've got fungal life processes on number 10. So I would open that up, and I would, if you want, you can have a little break by solving these riddles. But then I would find the life process that relates to me. So respiration is over here. So they can respire aerobically or anaerobically. So you need to tell me, and you need to research whether yeast respires aerobically or anaerobically. And I would like you to also describe what, if it is aerobic, what the equation is or what it produces. And if it's anaerobic, what is the process? So you can either write the equation or you can summarize it in a sentence as well. So you need to tell me what kind of respiration it does and describe that type of respiration. So for that, you have to do some research again. So simplest way is to open up your friend Google and write the life process afterwards here. And so you can read that yeast can survive in the presence and absence of oxygen. So they can do both. Now, if you remember from the back of your brain, there is a word that describes fungi that can do both. And if you read the lesson again, you see at the bottom here, it says facultative anaerobes are fungi that are usually aerobic, but will become anaerobic if necessary when oxygen supplies are low. So that's what yeast is. So you would write this in your own words. Okay, so you do the same thing for the other life processes. So you look up the different types of nutrition, find out what type of nutrition yeast does, and I'm going to give you a clue. You need to have the word extracellular digestion, and I would like you to describe what that is for me as well. So what does it feed on? Okay, so what does it feed on? And this is the process that it undergoes in order to feed. What kind of reproduction does it go? So there's sexual and there's asexual. And within asexual, there are 3 different types. So does it do both? Does it do one? And describe that process as well. Does it produce any waste products? Are those waste products harmful or useful to us? So that's what I need you to describe here. In yeast, we do definitely use its waste products. So this one is an important box for yeast. So moving on to the factors, you have to describe what are the ideal factors that yeast needs in order to survive and thrive. So the factors that affect their life processes are in the other lesson. So if you go back to Google Classroom, and it will be under Lesson 12, factors that affect life processes of fungi. And you've got the 5 factors there. So it basically already tells you what the factors are that they need. Now, for some things like oxygen, you're going to have to research it. You might have to research temperature to find the exact ideal temperature. Same thing with pH. Nutrition, what is its ideal nutrient? And does it need or does it not need oxygen? So once you have each factor, that's when you write it back into this box. And for extra points, I want you to relate that factor back to the life process. So for example, you could say the ideal temperature for yeast is 37 degrees because this is when enzymes work their fastest. And if enzymes are working their fastest, it means it can perform respiration and reproduction and nutrition the fastest as well. And this allows for a greater growth of yeast. You could do that for every single one of those as well. All right, and then finally, what benefits or harm does it cause? And this is a freestyle box. So this is how does it relate to humans, okay? How does it interact with humans? Do we use it for our advantage or does it harm us? And I want you to describe how it benefits and how it harms us using what you have just spoken about here. So is there a waste product that we use? Do we give it certain ideal factors? Okay, so you should be able to synthesize the life processes and the factors with how it interacts with our species. So if you have any further questions, please email me. I'm more than happy to answer them. And I definitely want to see everyone attempt this assignment because this is very, very similar to what your internal assessment will be.